Good morning. I'll try getting through this without having a coughing attack. I should be outside now helping with the horses, doing my stable chores, but I must admit I've been given a sick pass for this part of it. I have tested myself for COVID, which came back negative. Doesn't make any difference when you feel really grotty. I think I picked up a chest infection, but anyway, that's by the by. That's nothing to do with the vlog. What I was going to do is I was thinking about doing the 10 best moments, but I have watched Charlie's. Charlie did the same thing. It's interesting that he's actually talking about some of the videos that he will be putting out in the future. But what I will do is I'll give him a mention, and if you haven't seen his channel and you want to have a look, it is very interesting. And I will also finish with another shout out, but more of that one later on. Charlie went for his best 10. What I've decided to do is I do beg your pardon. What I've decided to do is to go for the 10 most popular according to viewer numbers. Now, I know my viewing numbers aren't particularly large, but what I've done is I've ranked them for me for the last year, and what I will do is I'll start with those that had most views. I think actually my hardcore followers, and I really do appreciate your support. I really love the comments. The comments have been really nice to have over the last few weeks in particular. It's nice to have that interaction. Subscriber numbers are one thing, but actually it's that interaction that I think is the really key thing. But I would say thank you to all of you. But I think some of these numbers, these viewing numbers, are dependent on, to some extent, the thumbnail, but probably more to do with the title. And if somebody read that I'd made a mistake or something bad had happened, then that actually got more views. But I do thank you for those people that have regularly followed me week in, week out, and left me a comment encouraging me and supporting me. That really does go a long way to making sure that I continue with these weekly vlogs. And here we are. It's the end of another year. Have a look, see what you think. I'll do a little bit of a voiceover, but yeah, I'll put little snippets in. But leave me a comment, and as I say, thank you for the support, and a happy new year to every single one of you. Thank you very much. My name is Tim Palmer. I fly a Jodel DR1050 out of this farm strip in East Anglia.
So, without further ado, let me get into my top 10 favourite moments of the year. So, starting off with number 10, it was my first proper flying vlog. It was actually my second flying vlog, but I did 2 flights and 5 landings. And the reason it was my favourite is because it was my first proper enjoyable flight of the year after lockdown. I've got my Sky Demon ready, got my plug printed out, and the most important thing of all, of course, good pilot's breakfast. See you up there. I just had an amazing time, and I blew the cobwebs out, and I felt like an amateur private pilot again. But after a few weeks of not flying, you start to forget, like, really, am I a pilot? Is this real? And it was 3 months, of course, because of lockdown, so it was great to blow the cobwebs out. I think one of those takeoffs was at Compton Abbas Airfield, and on the takeoff run, a bump put me into the air at 30 knots, and the plane was flying, and it was just amazing.
Oh! That was 30 knots we were off the ground. 30 knots! I can't believe it. Unbelievable.
What I've done here is I've listed all of the videos for the year. Every Friday morning's video for the whole year. Sometimes amazes myself, actually. But what I have done is After this, I've ranked them according to the viewing numbers, and that is those that most people viewed we've got first, and we go right the way down to the 10th. It's not necessarily the ones that I would have. Top of the pile with 2,726 views is this one here, where it says, I should have known better.
This is the point at which I should have thrown away this landing. I had been preoccupied trying to help John and not really taken on board what people were saying about the wind change. If you get it wrong, the Jodel will float and float, and it certainly was. You'll see the windsock coming through there now, and I'm aware of the fact that the road is coming up very quickly. If you watch carefully, you'll see that I touch once, but then because of the road, decide to fly her back over the top of it. Once down the other side, I brake as hard as I possibly can do, because I noticed that John's done a teardrop and coming back in at me.
Steve, it looks like it's favouring 09 now. It's all over the place, but it's more for 09 than 27.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If you want me to guide you in, John, it's not a problem. I'm to the sort of northwest of rain now.
I've got a handle on it. If Tim can move out of the way, I think. Yeah, I'll be clear.
Back in July, I put out vlog number 317, which was a very wet Suffolk strut fly-in, and that was into Monudon. I think a lot of people watched that because I did include a number of aircraft shots, but as I've said before, they are very, very good Suffolk strut fly-ins.
And Lima outside, it's all yours.
Lima up, thank you. Backtracking. Go for Echo Hotel and Juliet Bravo overhead and descending dead side.
Roger, traffic information, one taxiing out for the local side.
Can you land 8? Sid. 8 up. You roll up the end just in case. Shall do. Go for Echo Hotel, final landing long.
Project Hotel, service in Circom. Orders and radio, Golf Charlie Delta Papa Delta, PPR 130, inbound from the south, 5 miles to run. Request instructions.
Roger, Papa Delta using runway 22, left-hand circuit, advisory QFD 1012.
Juliet Bravo, final, contact on ahead.
Roger, service, let's come.
The one that came out on the 5th of November, which was vlog number 333, was the one about Dad. It did have lots and lots of very supportive comments, which I do appreciate. It was a very difficult one to put together, especially it was so soon after he'd passed away, but I just felt the need to do that. I wanted to pay a tribute as quickly as I could. I am going to leave this one there. I had scheduled last Friday's video in advance, expecting to be on the Isle of Wight with the grandchildren for part of half term. I was not expecting it to be the last few days with my father. He'd been in hospital since Sunday the 24th, not easy with COVID precautions. I'd been staying with him for a while as he struggled with his mobility and a breathing difficulty. That was due to a very heavy chesty cold. The antibiotics weren't working very well, and his heart failure problems of a few years ago didn't help, so he was taken into hospital early last Sunday. I spent 12 hours bedside in the emergency department with him. He was on oxygen and had numerous drips. Eventually, they took him to the ward, but I wasn't allowed in and had to say goodbye at the door. The following day, I was allowed to visit on the ward for 1 hour,
and then for the rest of that week, 1 hour a day. But as the hospital went into visitor lockdown on Friday, I did get an extra half an hour before hospital rounds on Thursday evening. I had the phone call at 12:30 that night to say that he'd passed away. I was expecting it to be a "you need to come in" call, but was surprised that it wasn't. It seemed that he'd been moved up the bed at 11:15 and all was fine, but then passed quickly away before 11:30. It is going to seem very strange now, having spent so much time with him as his carer and, more importantly, his companion. But I was pleased to have had the chance to share this valuable time with him. We did a lot together, and as COVID lockdown originally hit, he became a regular in my videos.
On the 18th of June, the permit check flight video went out. It was vlog number 313. It had 1,648 views, and I think basically a lot of people clicked onto that one because I said that he doesn't like stalling very much. But you'll see, he was fine really.
I have to say I get very nervous.
Yeah. I got Warner there at 58. I've got Buffett. And there she goes, 45. Okay.
Couldn't be any more gentle than that, could it?
No, she's usually fairly docile. Okay, this is the one that I don't like very much.
What's that?
Okay,
What are you doing there?
gotta come down max speed.
Got the old mask there.
Yeah, behaving.
Go around that.
Yeah, behaving everything the way that it should do.
Yeah.
Ground is coming up fairly quickly. And there we are. That's fine.
Fairly early on in the year, and it came out on the 8th of January. I called this one Thanks for the Memories. It had 1,628 views. And basically I was just reflecting on the rules that existed at that point, which was to do with Lapple licenses and whether or not we would ever be able to use them abroad again.
Stroke 7000, call Calais 1289025, au revoir. Thank you.
7000 and 128.925, thank you very much. Au revoir.
Echo 420 Sierra, bonjour, maintain 2000 feet to
Calais, bonjour, Golf Alpha Yankee Echo Hotel.
Golf Alpha Yankee, Echo, Hotel Calais Info, bonjour, Radio 5, pass your message.
Golf Alpha Yankee Echo Hotel is a Jodel DR 1050, just coasted in and inbound to you with 7 miles to run.
Bonjour, Golf Echo, Hotel Runway 24 in use at Calais, right hand circuit, the wind 220 degrees 10 knots. The QNH is 1023.
A very busy Sunday was vlog number 314. Had 1,568 views, and it's nice to look back on what was a very nice, sunny, warm day in June. Very nice, yeah. I called it, Is It All Worth It? It was one of these ones that made me think about what we were doing, what we'd been doing, and whether or not we were going to get out of lockdown. In fact, we had just come out of lockdown, and I was just reflecting on what I had been doing during lockdown.
Time has dragged, but in others it's sped up. And since 2013, I did say that I would always try to make the most out of every single day. It was good to see groups of people again in last week's video. It's something that we've all missed. So I thought I might start today by revisiting our nearest annual event, held at the old wartime airfield at Boxted and organised by the Suffolk Coastal Strut. It is a new edit of an old film, and I thought you might like to be reminded of flying aircraft.
I really enjoyed filming this one and making this one and working with Terry, 1423. Terry's been in a couple of times since and done some very, very good drone filming for me. And we're looking forward to doing more next year.
I think that's the church there. A good view of the runway. Man, that is steep.
I think it's just dawning on me.
I've seen Tim do this a lot, so no excuses.
That runway really does stand up. And you look like you're flying towards a wall.
Aim for the flat bit.
See what I mean? Really close to the trees. And breathe.
Yeah.
That wasn't too bad. I think that wind really helped me.
There you go again. So that's a landing at Neyland.
Vlog 307 saw us out and about after lockdown, and I was determined that I wanted to go and have a look at Beccles. a new runway there, and I was extended a very, very warm welcome.
Golf Echo Hotel, final 09. Golf Echo Hotel. Very nice new looking runway. Centre line, centre line, centre line. Echo Hotel, welcome to Beckles. Like to park on the grass next to the Yellow Husky. Thank you very much, and next to the Husky, Golf Echo Hotel.
Well, we'll just go and find everybody and book in. I have got my mask.
That's Ava, not me. Oh, very nice.
I do still have to pay my landing fee, but I'm going to do that there when I have a cup of tea and a piece of cake.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, absolutely.
And then I come and speak to you chaps before I go in a little while.
Oh, that'd be nice.
The last one, and number 10, I put out on the 24th of September. It was vlog 327. It only had 1,237 views. As far as I was concerned, it was one that I really enjoyed making. I enjoyed the flight. It was a very, very nice fly, and the people there were absolutely brilliant.
Having listened to the repeated comments about wind shear and turbulence, it was interesting to watch Lima Victor, and then I find myself being thrown around in exactly the same way and in exactly the same places as they did. I kept a little bit of extra power on in case I needed to catch something at the last moment. And then because of that, you'll see that once again I cover the brake just in case I need it, which I didn't. Sarah had invited me to this, the first ever Kitty Hawk fly-in, and I was looking forward to seeing her Eurofox.
Most of the questions I had was actually about the mount, because before this I've got a gaping hole behind there,
Okay.
But it was just difficult to find a mount that would fit, so I ended up getting this koala mount on eBay, which is basically 2 strips, and you just put them however far apart you need them, to get the iPad in.
Okay.
And I was a bit worried because of this, and I thought, oh no, is it going to rattle in flight? It's absolutely fine, doesn't rattle. But it's a lovely panel, it's really nice and simple and straightforward.
I don't very often have people filming me, but Jeffrey and Eve had flown in. Unfortunately, I would like to have met them and had a chat with them, but our paths crossed, and as you can see, as they landed, I taxied out. Having used the clip that Jeffrey filmed,
Oh my word!
I wanted to make sure that I gave him a shout out. I really do enjoy the work that he's been doing.
Amazing, isn't it?
It is!
And it's so smooth as well.
Jeffrey hasn't been making videos for too long, but they are really, really interesting, and he flies with Eve and the dog. They're very watchable, they're great fun. And have a look at this one and see what you think, and if you get the chance, go over to his channel.
Crazy.
There it is! Such fun!
And give him some YouTube love, as people say.
We are so privileged, aren't we?
I know!